Real tea, no Lipton. Straight facts, no fiction. My prediction, it's addictive. I wish you would tell me the truth.
Once again, we back, ladies and gentlemen. It's another episode of I Wish You Would, the podcast. I'm your host, Torch One Blazing. I got my co-host, Shine. And we're here to give you another great episode. So, without further ado, let's dive right into it. You feeling good? 'Cause I'm feeling great. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. The room is smelling real nice. You looking real nice. Look at you. You look like a brand new do on too.
Oh yeah, we took a poll, and the poll was like, the ladies like it when I'm clean. So even though I'm taking, don't mean I can't be eye candy. I'm just saying.
I like it. Handsome husband.
So, episode 2. A lot of people don't get past episode 1.
Right.
Episode 1 was crazy though.
Yeah.
Hey, had a good time introducing us, letting the people know who we were, who we are, and what we do. Excuse me. But let's get into it, man. It's time to get on these topics. So, what you got for me today?
So, we're adults, we're aging, we're a little wiser. We think we're a little wiser now, right? We think we're a little mature,
Mm-hmm.
And how we got to that area, how we got to that space, how we got to this space in life is what we call staying out the way.
Staying out the way.
Staying out the way. We come up with
Highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Stay out the way.
Yeah, stay out the way. And, you hear people say after they respond to somebody say, hey, what's up, Torch? What's up, Shine? How y'all doing? How y'all been? What y'all been up to? And the first response is, oh, we been staying out the way. And people want to know, like, what do that mean,
I mean, it means something different for everybody. I'm going to be honest with you. For me, I'm staying out the way of trouble. I'm staying out the way of, if I know something over there is going on that I ain't really down with and I ain't trying to be a part of it, I don't need to be witnessing nothing. You know what I mean? I don't need to be talking about nobody else's business. I don't need to be running my mouth about what nobody else got going on, whether I'm privy to the information or not.
Yeah.
I stays out the way. I got stuff to do for me,
Right.
mines, and my offspring.
Yeah.
That's it. You know what I mean? I don't got time to be up in your business, they business, this person's business. I stay out the way. That, for me, that's how I get the most stuff done.
Yeah.
Is not being worried about what everybody else got going on.
Right.
And even when presenting my own business, I don't even like to present it until it's done. I don't want to talk about it while I'm in the process of making it happen. I want to show you when it's done. So I guess I stay out the way of danger, stay out the way of gossip. Now, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I stay dangerous. I ain't afraid of nothing. But I'm not going to look for it. I'm not going to go put myself in a situation I know I don't belong in.
Yeah.
And that's, for me, that's staying out the way.
Yeah. I share some of the same sentiments as well. Staying out the way means minding the business that pays me, right? Because the business that I have just on an individual basis, it can stack up to be a mountaintop full of things I have to take care of, things I have to pay attention to, things I have to complete, things I have to accomplish, goals I want to achieve, right? And so staying out the way means minding the business that pays me, minding the business that don't pay me, because there are certain things of adulting, right? We have certain responsibilities we have to get done on a day-to-day basis, right? And like on a day of like a weekday when I have to go to work, right?
Right.
Staying out the way means when I go to work, I'm there for the purpose for which I'm there for.
Right.
I know how to keep my coworkers in a certain type of realm of relationship, and I know how to have certain conversations. I know when to let things be put forth and know how to hold back on some things, right? And I know when to stay out of certain conversations that they bring up. Maybe it's gossip, maybe it's talking about somebody else that they shouldn't be. I know how to say, okay, time for me to exit stage left out of this conversation, out of this topic, and I'll move on to something else. Also, making sure that I keep work at work, right? And I don't bring those problems home to you, right? Stay out the way. I make sure you're guarded as well. Stay out the way means, hey, anything that does not involve Torch, don't bring to Torch. Don't bring around Torch, right? I protect myself, I protect you, I protect us, because what we have is sacred to me, right? And I'm on my own business, of course. That's what we keep saying, right? Minding our own business, and it could be so many different facets of minding your own business. So just with the Woodsworks media business there's so much time we have to put into that, right? I see you editing, taking time to edit, taking time to get the music right, taking time to get the words aligned with the movement right on the video. That stuff takes time. So, when you stay to yourself, meaning you take care of your business as an adult, right? You take care of your business as an adult, you get the things done that you need to, right? And I make time for you. I make time for everyone that's important to me, that's significant in my life, right? And in order for me to do that, I have to stay out the way.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see the details of that. Again, me more so, for me, from my perspective of staying out the way, like I said, it's staying out the mud. It's just staying out the mix. I mean, and when I say staying out the mix, I don't mean not getting involved with what's going on and what's happening on the scene, because you still got to go out to shows, you still got to network, you still got to meet people, you still got to get out there and put your name out there, put your product out there.
Yeah.
But we can all see drama coming a mile away.
Oh, for sure.
And if you choose to stay there and you get sucked up and caught up in that drama, that's your fault.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw it coming. Yeah. You didn't want to leave, you didn't want to move, you wanted to be a part of that because it was exciting at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm to the house. You know what I mean? Like, the minute we stop focusing on making money or making a better deal or networking or doing something that's going to take us from here to there, I'm over it.
Yeah.
Now, don't believe me, I love to hang out.
Yeah.
Love to party, love to network, love to kick it. But it's a time and a place for everything.
True. True that, George.
Letting your guard down is not something you do out in public. So the best way to protect yourself, protect your peace, protect the people around you is removing yourself from that situation. I mean, again, I applaud the people who play the hero. Some people stick their neck in there and say, hey, break it up, break it up. I used to when I was younger. At this age of my life, I'd much rather leave before it even needs a hero to step in.
Okay, so with that being said, because I've seen you in action before, and I've seen you pick and choose your battles wisely of, okay, if you see somebody, especially people of our nationality, right? We tend to think about others in danger and trying to get them to safety. And I've seen you pick and choose your battles of which situations to say, hey, let me try to intercede. Let me try to, diffuse the situation. And then I've seen you be like, hey, that's not ours. Actually, let's go, let's leave.
Well, because it's a difference between someone being in danger and needing assistance and sitting around for bullshit. Like, that all the way honesty. Like,
okay.
If there's somebody out there being attacked or in danger and needs help, of course I'm going to help. They need that help. You know what I mean? And as a human being, I couldn't walk past that situation without helping them.
Yeah.
If I see somebody sitting around drinking and cussing and getting sloppier and getting violent and getting belligerent, or if I'm sitting around table one and they gossiping about table two, I'm good. I'm out. I don't want to sit amongst the person who's gonna let themselves get so belligerent that they finna get us kicked out, and I don't want to be around the gossip.
Yeah.
I don't need to know what Tom, Dick, and Harry got going on.
Yeah.
Ain't none of my business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't even care about what you got going on until you selling it to me. You know what I mean? Like, and like, people always want to tell me these ideas and these great things, and I'll be like, yo, I'll cheer you on. But again, let me know when you're ready.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, the way you get caught up in bullshit is by being in everybody's business.
Man.
By having an opinion about what everybody else going on. That's what makes social media so dangerous.
Ooh, yeah.
So like you said, correct. I pick and choose my battles. I definitely pick and choose where I place myself, and not afraid to help somebody in danger, but very afraid to allow myself to get caught up in some mess that I don't belong in.
Yeah, for real. I'm like, the less I know, the less I can be like, hey, I'm not accountable for or responsible for letting this person know, hey, this person was talking about you. This was what was said. The less I know, cool,
Right. I mean, the whole thing is, I could be honest with myself. I don't want to die over something that ain't got nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? And the way people move nowadays, people ain't out here fighting and arguing. They taking lives, women included.
Right. Yeah.
Like, it ain't just men out here. It ain't just youngsters. It's 40-something-year-olds. Just the other day in Elk Grove, you know what I'm saying? That brother shot up that bar in Elk Grove.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Killed them people. That dude my age.
Man,
You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like, that's a young man. You know what I mean? And he
Right.
out here, you know, he's a dope, but he's not some YN out here. He's mature enough to have known,
That's crazy.
but
Man.
yet still he still chose to take somebody's life. Like, and you got to think like, did somebody see that coming? You know what I mean? Was somebody arguing with him? Was somebody's antennas up enough to be like, let's diffuse the situation,
Right.
or let's remove ourselves from the situation,
Right.
or hell, even remove the person. But
Mm-hmm.
sitting up there and egging it on,
Yeah.
laughing about it, you know, trying to, you know, people think stuff's a joke until it ain't no more.
Man.
And that's the one thing I try to tell people to avoid is being in a situation where you taking your life for a joke.
Man.
Because the next person ain't.
Right.
Something that's funny to you is something that somebody else to kill for.
Right. For sure. For sure. Yeah. So staying out the way, and like you mentioned earlier, staying out the mud. So
Staying
like
out the mud.
So staying out the mud. So, you know, I believe it was the rapper, was that Roddy Ricch? And he got this song about getting it out the mud.
Mm.
And, you know, we like to define things first. So, you know, we got these idioms over here in America. So, you know, there's idioms just come up all the time, but out the mud is now a term that we use for the ghetto, the hood, you know, the trenches. And when we say the mud, we mean the ghetto, the hood, the trenches, the not so good parts about the ghetto, the hood, the trenches. So when somebody says, well, I got it out the mud, you know, that means they started from that area, that environment. It was dangerous. It was look over your shoulder, keep your head on the swivel all the time, you know. And me and you, yeah, we were raised in the hood, you know what I mean, in the ghetto, lived in the projects. I didn't live in the projects, but
Yeah,
I didn't.
I ain't living
Oh,
in
you
nobody
project?
project.
Okay.
No, absolutely
Well,
not.
you know, because I
I'm
was
like,
talking to
yeah.
they was like, oh, that's Hunter's Point. They was looking at the video and everything. So you know, we know that's the hood.
Nah, my
but
mother was raised in the projects. Don't get me wrong,
okay.
but I tell everybody in a minute.
would.
No
Okay.
shit, my mom and dad worked hard. We might
Yeah.
not have had a lot, but they took the first. They crawled so I could walk, so my little sister could run, so my daughter could fly.
Right. So
You know what I'm saying? It didn't take 100 generations for us to go from Hunter's Point to all my dad kids are homeowners.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like it took their grind to this point. So
Right. So their grind, they had to grit and grind and pretty much get it out the mud. They had to actually, you know, what's that saying? Pull themselves up by the bootstraps. They had to go and make opportunities for themselves, right? They really had to hone in and press hard with school and academics and do all these achievements, right? And they didn't have anything given to them on a silver platter. They didn't get fed with a silver spoon, what I mean, right? So me and you came from that. We didn't come from the projects, but we came from the ghetto, the hood, the trenches where, you know, our parents had to struggle a little bit to get us to a certain point of where we are now, right? Give us a leg up. And so our children nowadays, right? Our children, when we having children now, we raised them in the suburbs. They don't grow up in an environment where they're at a, you know, a school that's struggling. You know, they're in top tier schools. They're getting the best of education. You know, some of these schools now teach trades in them and everything, and they grow up in a 2-story house, 4 or 5 bedroom house. You know, they friends can come over, they can throw parties, you know, maybe once a month or whatever. And these children are privileged. We call them privileged. Now they walking around with cell phones, Androids, iPhones, iPads, all that stuff, right? You know, we barely got to get an Atari, you know, for Christmas when we were celebrating Christmas, right? But our children now, you know, they're privileged, but they still want to get it out the mud. They want to have this thing where they're talking about, you know, like when they rap in their songs, you know, some of our nephews and, you know, they be rapping about all this stuff about getting it out the mud like they struggled, but they're not. So what do you think about them wanting to have this story of get it out the mud when that's not their story?
Well, I think every person wants to feel like they earned something or they did something. And unfortunately, the culture almost forces some of these kids to seem like they're out here doing more than what they're really doing or living harder than what they're really living. Because that seems to be the story that attracts the audience, you know. So you do get a lot of young rappers, a lot of young people that are not necessarily fabricating a lifestyle, but they're embellishing a lot of activities. You know what I mean? They might have sold a 10 sack and now they're the biggest dope dealer on the block. You know what I mean? But you know, or they might, you know, took a joint from their uncle's house and brought it to school, but now they the man. Like it's so it's
or see the porno mag
but
under
the thing is we all grew up in stages of life where some of us did go hard and work hard, and a lot of us, you know, we worked on us. You know what I mean? And so I think when these kids now are trying to portray this image of get it out the mud, get it from here, no one wants to feel like things were handed to them. They want to feel like, you know, I worked hard, I earned this, I deserve this, you know.
Yeah.
And again, what we got to make sure that we tell them is that you working hard in school is why you earned this and why you deserve this. You putting your head in them books is why you get what you get. One of the things I love about my daughter, she told me young, she's like, Dad, I don't want to play sports.
I remember that.
I want to be a student. She's like, I want to do well in school because I like school. I like books. I like learning. I'm like, man, but you're a great athlete. She's like, I understand. I don't want to play sports. I want to focus on school. But her brain has taken her around the world. She's been out the country several times. She's, you know, moved into a situation where she's become really dope. You know what I mean? So I believe as long as we encourage the right kind of getting out the mud, then that personality is not a bad thing. That attitude is not a bad thing. Just got to make sure it's focused. So
Right.
So yeah, that's how I feel about it.
That's how you feel?
That's how I feel.
I mean, I think it's funny though, you know, like hearing some of our nephews and stuff like that keep getting in the rap game and everything, and I'm like, okay, I see how you was raised. I know how you was raised. Like this may be not your story, but I like to see them doing what they are doing as far as like the hip hop. They're telling their story. For example, you know, one of my little nephews, I'm gonna shout him out right now, Big Band's DJ. You know, Big Band's DJ. He pretty much talks about, you know, okay, he thought he could take a different route than what he was raised, right? And now he's realizing, hey, you know, my mom and dad was trying to set a righteous foundation for me. Let me get back to that. So let me not act like I didn't, you know, come up with both parents, you know, instilling in me greatness, you know, level-headedness, right? And then, you know, my other little nephew, you know, that's he's really cool because he be doing the backyard parties. I'm just thinking, but his name is Rockstar Rick, and that's what he lived like, a rock star. You know what I mean? He already driving a nice whip, you know what I mean? Able to throw his own shows in the backyard with the pool and everything. And so he talk about, you know, him being the life of the party and being able to do that because he has a decent way of living, right? So, you know, the whole get it out the mud thing, I'm like, be who you are. Be who you are. Don't be afraid to be who you are. If your story is not get it out the mud, you ain't got to trip off of that.
You got to remember though, as times change, environments change also. Just because these kids didn't necessarily grow up in a rundown area doesn't mean it wasn't dangerous. Don't mean it wasn't gangs. It don't mean it wasn't people around there still moving a certain way.
Okay.
Because gangsters make advancements too. You know what I'm saying? And they have kids that live in good areas too. They still raise these kids to be tough and run a certain way. You know what I mean? Like, so that mentality ain't just exclusive to a bad area. And it don't mean just because your parents raised you in a church that you're not going to encounter these situations and have to know how to protect yourself and move and groove in these environments.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in a city like Sacramento. There is no such thing as a safe zone out here. There is no such thing as a safe area because you can get robbed in Meadowview, like you can get robbed in Laguna, like you can get robbed in Elk Grove, just like you can get shot in Rancho, just like you can get shot in Roseville.
Yeah.
Just like there was somebody doing a home invasion in Roseville, Granite Bay. Like no area is safe out here.
Because them the places that got the money. I mean, well, not
but
got the money.
We're not even talking about money crimes. We're just talking about dangerous situations people put themselves in, whether they're selling drugs, whatever they got going on. Like I said, I don't know because I be out the way.
Right, we be out the way.
You know, per watching the news, there's a lot of dangerous stuff going on that happens in the city, so it don't matter where you live or what area you was raised in, you still got to be sharp. And I like to believe that's the story that they're telling.
Okay.
You know, because
Okay.
again, they like to, again, they still got to feel like they're getting through this environment. You know what I mean? That's not, it's set up for them, but it's not set up for them to make it a cakewalk. It's still challenges. You know what I mean? It's still life out there. And we might laugh
Right.
because it ain't the life that we had, but you know, this is what we wanted. We wanted less people dying. We wanted less shootings. We wanted less violence. We know what's going to go away in a generation.
Right.
So, you know, they going to have these songs. They going to rap about them. But what we didn't have was a rock star Rick growing up. You know what I'm saying? We had mostly gangster rappers.
Yeah.
Now we can have a gangster rapper and a rock star come from the same household.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's the beauty of the growth in the city.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, we still have some roots and some things that we're trying to grow from, but we're growing enough to start seeing these kids also believe in themselves.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Each one chooses to narrate their perspective from how they were, you know, brought up in a certain household, right? Or brought up in a certain type of environment or area. Right?
Well, again, it's just it's the people they choose to involve themselves with and the lifestyle they choose for themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You might come from the best home lifestyle in the world, but if you put yourself out there to be a part of some gangster shit, that's what you're gonna get into.
Yeah, for sure.
Regardless of where you go lay your head down at night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you run your mouth out there and you put yourself out there to be seen and be known, somebody gonna see you and they gonna know you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You stay out the way and you put yourself out there to throw parties in the backyard and rap and be like LaRussell or be like Young Zell.
Right.
Or, you know what I'm saying, be somebody that's really positive and energetic and moving through the city with a message that's more uplifting. Yeah. People gonna see you for that. And so you're gonna have a lot less dangerous situations surround you because you're not putting yourself in dangerous situations.
True.
So again, like 40 said, everybody got choices.
Everybody got choices.
So these young men, they making their choices and they speaking about the choices they make. As adults, we know we either did our best or we didn't. That's you gotta look yourself in the mirror and know that as a parent. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But these young people, they gonna make their choices. You know what I mean?
True. I know you mentioned something about church, being in a church environment. Like I did see some stuff growing up in church. I did see some stuff I did not want to see. You know, it's definitely imprinted in my mind. But, you know, at least our people was trying to give us a little bit of a solid foundation that we went straight from. So yeah. But speaking of church, you know, there's some things that go on in church. Like last week I attended a funeral for a high school friend. Right? I attended a funeral for a high school friend, and there were some things I didn't know growing up with them, and up till now, there were certain things that were going on that I wasn't privy to because, like you said, and like we do, we stay out the way, right? So, with a funeral comes a nice printout, an obituary, and a nice printout of the program, of the funeral program, right? You see the pictures, you see, you know, sunrise, sunset, and then you start flipping open the program, right? And we start to read what's called the obituary, right? And so, you know, a funeral we attend, like not this past one, but a funeral we attend, maybe they have, you know, some, you know, maybe there was a couple, they were either married or they were either a long-term couple that just didn't ever, you know, officially tie the knot, as we say, right? And one of our friends brought up, hey, should you know, exes be mentioned in an obituary? Say, for example, you know, like if a couple, whether they were together a long time, whether they were officially married, you know, like maybe they were together for 15, 20 years, then they go off with somebody else, right? Then after they go off with somebody else, then they pass away, you know, after some time. And that ex may have been, the ex of the person who passed away may have been a part of the family gatherings, all the happenings for those 10, 20 years they were together. You know, you start coming around, you start loving on people, you start being in all the family photos and getting invited to all the family events outside of the gatherings and stuff like that. Should exes be mentioned in the obituary? What you think?
Well,
You get to rub your eyes on that one.
yeah. I mean, I think that situations are gonna be different. If you were with somebody a long time and you've got kids, you guys had a life together, you guys really established something, you guys did 15, 20 years, like, yeah, there's a part of your life where that was your family. And so, you know, it's okay to show respect to them even though they're not in your life anymore. Especially if that separation was amicable and there wasn't something that was violent or negative or financial or something that just, you know what I mean, drove them apart. Because sometimes people just grow in different directions.
Yeah.
So, you know, with respect to if that person's currently married, then yeah, that current spouse or partner is going to get their updue most respect. They're going to be the one sitting on the front row.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that ex, I don't see why they wouldn't be sitting right behind them. I mean, again, especially if there's kids involved.
Kids, or do you think it would take like the current mate or the current spouse to be okay with it first before the ex gets mentioned in there?
I think you need to understand who you're dating the second time around before you even put yourself in that predicament. Because if you're a person who believes that you're going to want to still show respect to your ex, that needs to be something that you're informing the current person you're dating about. Like, hey, you know, we're not together romantically, but this is still somebody I respect professionally. This is still my friend. We have kids together. You know, we might have a business together. You know, I mean, if we divorced, but we still run a company, and I start dating somebody else, they're going to have to understand I'm still going to have to interact with you. I'm still going to be working with you. Still going to be doing things with you. And vice versa. You know, so people have to know what they're getting themselves into or just not do it. I mean, and that's the biggest thing is like, you know, I use this analogy and I'll try to sum it up pretty quick here, but, you know, everybody wants their top dream choice of what they want. Sometimes life don't give you that.
For sure.
And so just because you want this real bad, if you can't take what come with it, just might be something out there better for you.
Man, for sure. Hey, I want to thank you so much. You so sweet, you so kind. Like, that's how much of partners and H Boone Coon we are. Like, even if something happened, we still gonna be running this business together.
Yeah, somebody gotta do the paperwork. I'm not doing all that. Told you, pay me, hit record. That's it. Somebody gotta make people feel at home.
Yeah.
Your job.
And I do it well.
Thank y'all for watching episode 2 of the Wish You Was podcast. Make sure y'all tune in for episode 3 and then episode 4. See y'all soon.
Subscribe, share, like.